So, Iron Skull 2025 trip report. First off the bat, no awards for my two entries, but I honestly don't feel too bad about it. Considering the incredible level of painting on display, it's hard to. Before the day off, I thought that I'd maybe get a commendation if I was lucky, but as soon as the entries started filling up in the single sci-fi mini cabinet, or cabinets actually, I realized I would leave empty-handed, but that was also true for the majority of entrants. I believe there were more than 200 painters, bringing more than 500 pieces. Some of the usual suspects were also in attendance. Nicholas Rubens Mortensen, James Taro, Jia Guan, to name a few, like Golden Demon MPO and Salute winners, just high-tier painters. Seeing these familiar names and faces of Golden Demon and other major competition winners really put into perspective how brutal the competition would be. And it was no surprise at the end of the show when the very same people, deservedly of course, robbed multiple categories. Of course, empty-handed isn't entirely true either. My wallet suffered far more than I did. I splurged on new brushes and paints and got a couple of big brushes from newcomer Orange Brushes, and a few more of my favorites Artis Opus brushes. And since I got in as the doors opened, I could spend a good while chatting with the lead developer of Tooth and Coats, Duncan Rhodes paint brand, and I invested in some new blues that I'm excited to try for my plasma weapons. I also picked up one of these painting eggs from Artis Opus, which I've heard a lot of good things about. It should be a nice upgrade from the GW painting handle. And the Siege folks, they did a tremendous job. Despite the number of entries, both submitting and retrieving minis was totally pain-free. And they also took the time to stop and chat to the crowd when they had time, because they were running around all day. I think they sold almost 1,000 tickets in total, so the convention space was pretty packed at times. Entrants, like the participants in competition, could get in a few hours before the rest, and I'm really glad I did, because the cabinets were totally packed with spectators after 10 when it was general admission time, and there were eventually long queues to have a nice look. Getting in early also meant I got a prime shelf spot for my minis, so that was a nice bonus. Painting for competition, that was a super interesting experience, very valuable in terms of developing as a painter, I think. It really made me consider what I could do well, where my strengths lie as a painter, and it also showed me where I come up way short in terms of competition level, even for just the commendations. I feel like I can do heavy metal tolerably well, but you need more than just tolerably well for any kind of award. It needs to be near perfect, especially for the heavy metal style. But at the end of when retrieving my minis, I was incredibly, stupidly, ridiculously blessed to get 10 to 15 minutes of brutal but very kind feedback from the absolutely legendary 28 times Golden Demon winner Mark Lifton, which is without a shadow of a doubt the coolest hobby moment I've had since getting into painting. And it really did wonders to balm any bruised ego I might have had over not winning anything, because he explained in excruciating detail exactly what I needed to work on and where I should push myself if I wanted to compete. Keywords are shading, curved and round surfaces, and consistent lighting all across the model. He praised my edge highlighting, but I need to consider how that fits into the rest of the miniature's lighting scheme. He also told me I really didn't do myself any favors by entering a predominantly black model, so if I compete again, I guess maybe I'll leave my Raven Guard at home. But I am pretty stubborn, so we'll see. Will I compete again though? Maybe. Now that I have a realistic perspective of where I'm at and where I need to be as a painter, I think I definitely need to improve massively if it's to be worth the time, cost, and effort to compete. Maybe painting for myself and Instagram is enough. Although, it really is special to be part of such a celebration of miniature painting. Even if you don't have a realistic chance of picking up any official acknowledgement for your effort, your pieces are still a part of a greater whole, and if you can amuse or inspire someone else in the community, maybe that's a reward unto itself. We'll see how I feel in a year's time. This ran on a lot longer than I intended to, but thanks for attending my Iron Skull 2025 TED Talk, I guess. But Mark Lifton, though, jeez, can you believe it?